Hello. Welcome. This is Joanne with Jewel Design, and we are here with our weekend tissue box journals. Yay! I'm actually hoping this will be a Saturday for you guys this time, so you have all weekend to try this, play with this, deal with techniques, all that good stuff. And so today, last Saturday was covers, right? We created the cover, the bases to our tissue boxes, and I showed off. You know, we have our flip-flop square type journal. When you untie this, we will have two journals in here, and we'll have two signatures, and we'll have a signature back here. So I'm even thinking about tabbing in one more flip here to sort of do a peekaboo to this cover. And if we do, that might help us hide some kind of grommet or something to maybe help like tie this back side also down so that the back, you know, journal doesn't pop open. But that will go as we go along. We will figure that out. I'm going to put a piece of paper in here so it reminds me, I need to put something in here. So today is signatures for both of these. I'm starting to work on the potential. We'll go through one or two of the signatures for this one, and then we'll start gathering and measuring for this guy. And that's the goal. Last week was basic covers. This week is getting signatures put together. The following week might be the cover. Like I said, we need to come up with some floral watercolor fussy cut topper for this one. And this one we need to create a gorgeous journal cover, maybe some lace or something. And maybe we'll find a way to like do a tab something or other. The only thing is if I put a flip on here to tab open, I have no way of keeping that closed. I just realized. So I don't know, like we might redo this. If I do a tab in here, I might actually have to, if I have enough. This one is fine, but I'm wondering if like we keep this one here and I need a longer one here to go around and come back up to tie so that everything stays down. I have a feeling that's what's going to need to be done. If I keep getting fancy with this and with the journals in it, I think this side is going to need to be a little longer, so I may have to cut actually a totally different set of scrunchy ribbon. But that's okay. But I do like the idea of the grommets here. So, okay, so we're not going to waste too much time then. So if you were curious, if you're new, you're just catching this Saturday, last Sunday, I walk us through creating these lovely pieces. And I did go back and watch my girl do another thing, but she has, you know, thick bases, and she doesn't. She leaves a little less space, but not by much. And she puts paper on this side. She has fabric on the other. Her fabrics might be thicker. And then she just sews all her signatures in here. And those signatures with the fabric and the paper are enough, I guess, for her spines. I just didn't feel comfortable that they wouldn't, because these maybe not be as thick, that they wouldn't just be flimsy, and I'd have a hard time with it. So I'm really glad we put a harder piece in here. I can see it, so we're going to run with it. Okay. But anyway, if you want to watch the creation of how these came about, what I did, go back. I will link it. Yeah, I'll link it at the end because I don't think anything else is going on. Otherwise, yes, sometimes I will put cute little, what are they called, cards, I guess. They pop up in this corner of the screen, and you can click on them. It'll pause what we're watching. You can go watch something else that I've linked, and you can, go back and see what I was talking about or watch the other video. Other times I just link it at the end. So right now we'll link it at the end about this one, so you can go back and watch it. If something else comes up in my thought process, then I will, back here at 3 minutes, the 3.5 minute mark, I will put it up on you will have seen it come across your thing. Who knows? So it looks like we kept to about a 1-inch spine. And this is what we're sewing our signatures into. Now, I am doing pretty much a very modern journal. This is very much just under a 4x6, very modern, contemporary little mini journal. We have these beautiful waves on the outside. We have florals on the inside. Like I said, I'm going to try to find some. I believe I have some watercolor florals that we will create some kind of topper card and fussy cuts, and we'll sort of bring the two together. In that retrospect. I even have a really pretty vellum that's sort of in between all the blues and greens, and we're going to use this to sort of be a semi-cover to each signature that you can then decorate, or I will decorate the top of each one for each one of your signatures. So we're going to find ways to bring the colors and the feminine feels to both ends, but it is a very watercolored modern contemporary journal, and because they're just under 4x6, You could almost put, if you trimmed it well, you could make this a photo book. We have enough pages. You could glue photos to each page. You can write it on each day. If this goes as planned, 4 signatures, fingers crossed, 3 to 4, could have a potentially of 192 pages to play with. Plenty of writing. This is a cute little mini writing daily thought process. I know, daily thoughts, daily quotes, daily, something you want to remember, whatever. It's just going to be a total daily book that you can then go back every day and look at. I don't know. So, our spine is 1 inch, and it is exactly, I'm going to go top to bottom with this template so that I know exactly where I'm centering everything. And it is, gosh, I mean, it is just shy of 4.5, so we'll say 4.5. Okay, so 4.5 tall, which I never like doing that because I always feel like then, right, that we are never exact because we're doing it wrong. 4.5 that way. Let's go 4.5 this way. And if I cut just inside it, we should probably be okay. And then we only need 1 inch wide. So I'll make a few marks here. And so I'm literally recreating the spine so that we can then fold it, line it, and put holes in it to make our signature, so we can sew our signatures in more successfully. I've done this a few other times where I've done, other templates. I just want 2 in about a 1 inch thing. I had another one. Oh, and then I had a large one. This was my 3 inch spine, and I wanted 4 signatures in it. So I had to figure out, okay, well, this is the middle of each spine or the outside, or, I had to sort of figure out where I wanted to put everything. And it ended up, surprisingly, I have marks, and I'm like, why are those marks there? I don't know what those for. But this is where the signatures actually had to be placed in there for it to work. So, creating little templates is really, really helpful. I mean, I even still have the template for our large waterfall. I mean, this was like, okay, where do I need to mark it? How many places do I need? Like, it's good to have templates, and sometimes it's good to even hold on to them because you never know when you're going to need it again, or going, well, that worked really well, so let's try it. Let's just go with what it was already created. Never recreate the wheel if you can help it. Why recreate the wheel? I have a tiny little cutting board, so I'm going to use that. This is a scrap piece of cardstock that I have. Something sturdy that I feel is going to hold up. Something that I think is going to make our life a little easier. So we're going to do a nice clean cut there. And it's a scrap, but you know what? Let's put the scrap to good use, right? Now, there is not a whole lot of measurements on this thing. This is a tiny little 4x6 old Creative Memories photo cutter, so that when you needed to trim, right? We need to trim something off. We can do so when we are working with, of course, our photos, which would be great for this book if you have a small one, because it's pretty much exactly what we're dealing with. So I'm trying to hit that 1 inch mark, and hoping that we didn't do too bad, because if I cut it too short, I'm really gonna have I don't want to be off the page. Yeah, it's tight, but it's doable. Okay. Now, fun part is going to figure out how I'm going to get 4 signatures in here. And I may find out that we're only doing 3. So I don't think we're going to get into this part right yet. Let's start folding papers. That even doesn't look straight, but which is worrisome, but we'll line up and make it work. Yeah, I don't think it's straight, but okay, so, even me, you go cut it in half, you fold it in half, you fold it in 4s, half and half again, you get 4 sections, but it's only 3 technically lines. So when you fold it in half and you fold it in half again, you are only creating technically 3 fold lines for 3 signatures evenly. To do a 4th one, that's like you saw that big piece of paper, you sort of have to divide it in a different, like 5 sections, and then try to find your marks. And that, we will have to figure out how to do that. But really, I mean, 5 sections, 4 lines is 0.2, whatever 0.2 of an inch, a fifth of an inch is. That'll be fun. We'll do that by centimeters, or probably not by eighths or 16ths. So we'll probably do that by, see if we can do it by centimeters, and see if we can easily mark out what we think 5 sections, so 4 folded lines would give us 4 signatures for. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh, I don't know how we're going to get that in there, or how much, how are we going to get all that going on? We'll see. We'll definitely going to have to make sure we are really careful with it. So, but the whole point is to get enough paper in here that this sits pretty open. I want it to feel really good and not be too concave, but not so tight with paper that you can't add the layer of photos or anything else to it. And not, I mean, you can have it, it can be crocodile. This will give us all the room in the world. There is no worry about that. This has plenty of movement for that. So I started with 36 pieces of paper and then realized that we're only going to need about half. Like we can get these papers in half for height, and and then not quite a full page over, because that's 5.5 inches, and I don't think we quite have 5.5, but we might. So we're actually going to get 12 and 12, and each piece of paper, when folded in half, is now not 12 pages, but technically 24. And they double it because it's front and back is 48. So that's why I said we could have potentially 192 pages in this journal, if 4 signatures fit. If it's only 3, then okay, take 48 away from 198 too. I mean, from 192, whatever that is, 140 something pages. It's fine. It's still a lot, which is just lovely. So we are now going to make sure we are happy with our inside measurements. And when this is up, it is along the line. So I know that if sewn in here, we are going up against that line. 5 is down here, 5.5 is here. Now, if we don't go too tall, which is 4.25, I think we stay inside the corners. Remember, we mentioned that we didn't want to corner every one of these pieces of paper. I don't think. I think that's too much to try to do. As is, I'm trying to get a nice clean cut this way in all directions, so it's clean, nice and square for like any other book, compared to a standard junk journal. And I don't want to go into these corners. I don't want corners sticking out of our rounds. Now, so I guess the question will be, is 4.25 too much? And 4.25 is very tight. Let's see, hold on. I know, it's so hard to tell when I'm doing these lines, but I'm looking for my 4.25. I might need to start getting a new. So 4.25 is literally almost the height of this, right? So this is pretty tight. This is top to bottom, which means, yes, I go 5.5 out. We're probably seeing corners. I could cut them. I could round them. Even just the 1/4 inch rounder might keep them from going out. Do the full half would be great. I guess if I can get a nice clean cut and we go in there, I could round the pages. Do I want to? I don't know. I don't know if I've seen her round. I don't think so. I don't think I've seen her round pages. So 4.25 is pretty. So I'm thinking if we go 4, it's going to sit inside. It's still going to sit inside. And 4, stops being, say, visible. Definitely back here. And I think that's when we said 5.5 was doable. So let's see. I mean, it's just eyeballing it. When we glue it in, who knows? 5.5. Yeah, we can go, I think, 5.5 and 4 inches tall. 5.5 out. I think the 90 degrees will stay inside our rounds if we do that. So we will be trimming a little off the top, which means things aren't perfectly straight. So I think we're going to go 4 inches, 4 inches. Okay, all the way across. And then, because we said 5.5, huh? Let's see. Let's try one real quick. Now, I could cut these. I'm trying to decide, do I cut them folded? Which I think is even more problematic. But let's see. Now, I will bring it out some. That's the thing. It will bring it out some the moment it's closed. And that's when it may not. That's when we definitely need only 4 inches. I have a feeling it's still going to stick out. I don't think we're going to get away from it, because the moment we actually sew these in, I think they're going to stick out a little bit. And I'm eyeballing it right now for the bottom 4, and it's like right here on the edge. It's right here. So I think we'll keep it in half, but when we have to, because they start waterfalling outward, right? Each signature page within a signature starts going out farther and farther. So we are going to cut it back. So we will probably just trim it just inside the shortest page, and it might be okay. Okay, so I know I'm going to have to do this in mass quantities at some point. Well, I'll pause. I'll go cut these all up, come back, because there's just no way. I will do a single. I'm a little curious about a single or two. It's folded, so that may also help keep numbers down, but we need 4 inches. So we're going to do 4 by 5.5, but probably just under 5.5 once we have everything beautifully cut, like straight. And I do want to cut all of this with, you know, as best we can with the cutters because I want as straight as possible. So even when it's folded, I can see things move, they shift, and I don't want that. So it's probably why I will not cut these folded. I have a feeling cutting it, you know, folded may not be a smart thing, but we'll see. So anyway, when you put them in here though, even if you score it like crazy, right? Not score, but you, what's it, not varnish? It's not varnish. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. I know my mom just said it not too long ago. Anyway, when you use your bone folder to really get a nice tight crease, which will help, that's the other thing I'm going to do with each one of these. Even with a tight crease, we know, like I said, it starts kicking out just a little, and that's fine. What I want to do is then, when it's all out, we're going to go into that shortest piece, right? And I said 5.5. That is 5.5 right here on this line, according to them. And if I trimmed it, you know, it would keep everything at 5.5. I may just barely go inside that, but I have to decide, like this one shows it's right inside that 5.5 line. And if I did it, it's a tiny little bit. Now, I can only do a few pages at a time, which I'm going to actually have to use a straight edge and a ruler and hope for the best, because I'd only cut through one thing. Yeah, that just embellished the rest of it. How rude. But anyway, we will make a nice clean cut as best I can and hope that we have a nice, smooth ordeal. Okay, so let me go cut 2 stacks of 12. I think we're going to cut them 4 inches flat. Yeah, we're going to cut them 4 inches flat because I just don't think it's going to work. And then I'll sit here and we'll quickly fold one set of 12 and cut it and see how it works, right? With X-Acto knife and all that fun stuff and see what happens. Because, yeah. Okay, so I took these 2 from here. I will fix because I don't trust. Don't trust. And yeah, I'll be right back. Give me a sec. Okay, so our first 12 pieces of paper cut down into sets of 4 inches. And of course, doubled up, right? So 12 became 24 pieces. And this is the thickness of it before we even fold it, which doesn't seem like much, but when we fold it, that's definitely going to double in width. So I'm really thinking, you know, we're getting somewhere. So that we're going to get two sections here done. I did recut this, so it's, you know, potentially more perfect. Haha. Technically better. Where is my bone folder? Aha, yeah. So it is really just doing your best to line this up the best we can. Because remember, we are going to trim some off. So it's not like it has to be absolutely perfect. But we do want that top and bottom to line up. We want the, you know, and then I'm just making a thing. So I guess really, I don't know if you guys really want to watch all this. I don't want to waste all that kind of time with this one either, but I need to get a few pages going here to see how it looks like it's gonna line up. I can make the template, finish the sections. I don't have to put any holes in anything. I don't have to punch anything quite yet, but whoops, I feel like I just wanted to see if my little one would be better. Oh, sorry. Where is my little... I'm curious where my little bone folder is, which... Aha. I don't think I need my big one. My big one feels too much right now. Alright. So how are we all doing? Hope we had a wonderful week. We did Christmas on Thursday. It's probably late, but we got it done. Thursday night, you know, you can watch it Thursday night or Friday morning. I had a good group of you do a little bit of both. You know, if it was too late for you on, I came about 6:15 Pacific, so about 9:15 East Coast time, but I do have my late night ladies who do watch it just to get ideas for the next day, and then they rewatch in the morning or whenever they go to do their thing, if they're actually following along. So we worked on the Christmas, my Christmas daily this year, my December daily, using the pink kit. So the new pink vintage Christmas kit with fabric, so that was cool. So that cover is done. I actually got the signature sewn in because I already had that situated. and glued it down a little lace pocket in the back, since the front is a paper insert for extra writing space. So you have to go back and look at that. If you didn't catch that, you just happened to catch me today because you saw tissue box journal covers and it grabbed your attention, then yeah, we do have that going on, right? So that was Thursday. But let's see, I'm gonna have to count here in a second. We'll count the first 12 and see how this is sitting, because the goal will be, before I cut any more paper, right, if we can even trim this down to a proper just under 5.5 without any issues. So let's see. How many do we have going here? I mean, if they were on the outside and if I could find a way to put these all in and not have to, they would sit beautifully, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, one more. And then we have to sit them inside and see. Because this first one's going to give me a slight idea. On how thick this sits, right? Does it sit thick? I mean, the signature itself is going to look like it's thin, because it's all going to be inside one of these, right? If it was like this, yes. If we just sat it in here as is, of course not as bulky, but yeah, we could get, you know, all of this in here and do about 3 sections of it and it would be full. But there is no way I'm going to do, I don't know, 24 plus little signatures. It wouldn't fit. I am not that, especially with the middle cardboard in it. Now I see why she just does fabric and paper, so she's not forcing it through so hard. But I have plenty of needles, and that's what the awe is for. So, but I think if we put one inside the other, and then, you know, do 3 or 4 of those, each signature is easier to sew in, but you have that sort of mini book feel to work with that helps fan it out a little bit more successfully. But yeah, see, this is Saturday, so yeah, tonight is their first major competition for my youngest. We had a run through last night, which I'm filming this early, so I don't know how we did. I know practice was really rough, as I mentioned for Thursday night, like practice was rough. So hopefully they're rested, and we just gave it our all at the football game, and you know, so this lovely morning they will be working out the bugs, and then, well, we go to our first competition, and we just give it our all. It's Gilroy, it's close, it's nearby, and we just decide, you know, we just give it. Okay, so as I was saying, now it's in, but you know, it sticks out, and so when we sew it in as tight as we can, as good as we can. Oh, and of course each fold is not perfect, so everything needs to be, you know, tightly together, as tight as we can. Oh my gosh, I wonder if there's ways to do that. It's almost like you want to put something in there with a knot just to pull it in tight, and then go ahead and do the rest, which I could do. I could find the exact middle and put one thread, like a knot in the thread through it, just to pull it tight. Isn't that tempting? What's a thought, though? I don't know if it'll work, though. All right, so every way possible, I am tucking it in here. I feel like I need to find a way to make this as, like, tightly bound and always possible, because I watch it, though, and I already see that there's already something not in place. And so that's my only worry. I have no clue how she does it, when she gets it in there. You know, it's really tempting to put one hole in there and something, because I don't feel like I can get that last one in there tight enough. Isn't that annoying, right? I'm like, how do I do this? How do I keep it super, super tight and not lose that? Because I really, really want it to stay flat and proper, so that when I go and cut all this off the end, it doesn't move. Like, we don't end up with a really short piece in there, which we might, and I may not get what I want to do with this. Here, I have a thought. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. I'm just going to get a piece of old school twine and let's see something here. Probably overdone, because we are doing this in an old-fashioned way. It may be why she does, the lady I work with, watch so much, and maybe why she does like 5 signatures in such a small space, because she does make things as small and smaller. I think because that way she only puts so many pages. They don't have to be as many. But I don't think I could do it. Like, I don't know. My silly little me could figure it out. I do know that we are doing what I can do. I'm going to do with it. I mean, now our signatures are, our whole thing is 4 something. So we have to find the middle of that. Those are only 4 though. So, we do have to keep in mind that if this is 4 1/2, where's middle, right? So 2 1/4 technically is middle. 2 1/4 is middle. Okay, that's middle, no matter what. We do have 2 1/4 middle. But these are only 4 inches. So then you are having to mark 1/8 of an inch both ways. Or so anyway, 4 1/2, so 1/4 inch both ways. Make little notes up here that you want 4. You go 1/4 down here and 1/4 up here. And that's where middle is, right? So that you center between the 2 lines. You line it up here, and you know that this is where we need to put an awl. So that's the outside, not the inside. So then, I'm guessing here. So that doesn't work either. All right, but we can make it work. So then, same thing. We can still center it here. Find the middle. There we go. Outside, top, bottom, pretty close. Drag it across, and we know that that's about our middle spot. Okay. But that's giving us a starting point. Now, let's see. Put it in our cradle. I'm probably off camera now. Hope I didn't do all of that just off camera. But yeah, what I decided was, yeah, middle of the whole top and bottom is here. Right, 2 1/4. But I need to go 1/4 inch up and up both sides, because this is only 4 out of a 4 1/2 inch. So if we center, right, our booklet right here, top in these 2 lines, right here is where I made the line in the middle of the book. And that is as good as it's going to get. I could put this in here to see, just out of curiosity. And out of 4, middle is 2. And that's pretty close. Pretty close. We will definitely, you know. This is where, yes, this is where we need to see if we can keep one side or the other. Yeah, see, those aren't going to stay. I love these guys, but they're really not tight enough. Let's see if we can get one of these to stay tight enough. Okay, just enough. Okay, so I am taking the awl. I am going down to the 2 inch mark, going all the way down. Okay, but I'm not going to move anything from there. And I'm going to get, I think I already got it. I thought I already got it. I was sewing again yesterday morning, trying to finish the last of the, I thought I pulled one out, but now I can't find it, so that's scary. Let's do that one. There's a lot. I had to sew, you know, unsew and and resew 5 lovely, it worries me that I lost it, but anyway, hems to the capes, which I don't even know if we're going to use, and they don't use them for very long, which is a bummer, but you know, you do what you do. So I'm not going to do a very big piece. I'm just going to do one long enough to do maybe a knot on one end, but to help maybe tighten this, so that I know that when we're doing this, that there's a good chance that I can, yeah, see the outside, inside, it's a little different. Okay. Interesting effect, but we are starting the process. I'm not putting in extra holes in here. I'm not doing anything that's really going to get me in trouble. But with one, not only on one end, it's easy to pull out. I'm using the original wax thread that came with the bookbinding kit. I've gotten all kinds of pretty colors now since then, so not a lot, but just enough. And it's allowing me to pull that nice and tight. Helping me get that middle one as tight as I can up here. And I'm loving that, actually. That actually worked really nicely. And then I can do this. Where's my other ones? I've been using all my my clips everywhere. There we go. So then we can do this. I'm looking in here. I can keep pulling. Not too tight, because yeah, we don't want it to be like, oops, I ripped the thing. But I feel like we have a much better, tighter book that when I go to cut these pretty well. All right, make sure that's flat. Now, X-Acto knife. Now I can do this one of two ways. We still decided 5.5. It is right there on the edge of this one and actually a little shorter. So I'm just going to try to do a nice clean cut. A line does help. Right inside, we're just going to go a smidge shorter because I really do worry that our, what's the word? Let's see. That's not straight. That doesn't look straight at all. That's even more worrisome, right? I'm like, oh no, let's make sure. Now it could be. I mean, it could be very well. That top and bottom are a little, you know, if they're not perfect. There we go. Let's see, let's try this again. I want to make sure I can see everything really well. I don't need it to be super, and we're just going to trust the process. 1 here, 5 there, okay. Okay, that's what I'm cutting across and hoping for the best. Oh, there's the other one. See, I knew I pulled one out. See, I'm not losing my mind, not at all. I should just put it off to the side. When we can do this for each set as I go along, I'm going to do the same thing. So actually, I'll leave that one out so that I know for sure we're nice and tight. We are going just inside the line. No, my just inside is... Now, just inside the line, give or take on this fold out here, is 1 notch inside the 5.5. So I got to make sure that's the goal for all of them and hope that each signature does its job. Now, Lady Rock, she probably had a great everything. I am pressing down hard. I am sitting here and I am just going to try and hold and keep cutting paper. If you do not move and you press really hard everywhere, not so hard that it slides out from underneath you, of course, you can start moving paper out of the way. It's going to have a slight, like, rough book edge, which is not a bad thing, right? I'm struggling a little bit up here. I notice that it's not cutting as well as I'd like. There we go. Ooh. Well, that was a close call. I'm like, don't cut yourself, whatever you do, right? Now something's keeping me from getting that corner. You can cut outward wrong, it's fine. But try not to cut inward, yeah. And for some reason, that top spot keeps getting caught up on something. I don't know what, though. If you keep it straight, I think I'm getting less issues. It's when all of a sudden I'm getting inward somewhere. Now, of course, I am probably cutting right into my board. Probably should have at least my glue board underneath me, because I am not doing a great job. Okay, let's see here. No, I could rough this up. There's one more thing I can do to sort of finesse all this, right? Make sure we're straight, make sure we're good. Just, you know, I'm just skimming it. It is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. We did pretty good, right? And look at that. Pretty good. Now, what we can do, I'm feeling it's a little, is we could rough it up, okay? Especially if we're even thinking about, what's the word? Inking it a little. Take the flat, go across everything. It's going to help any weird pieces that are left over. It's going to make inking it really pretty. Okay. A little roughing. But look at that. That actually, look at that, nice and clean. We know it's in there if we sewed it in today, right? I wish it would be middle, but there we go. See, it's there, right? We have a nice clean, and I think, guys, I think if once sewed, it is going to sit right inside our bumps. Like, I don't think it's going to show. I think we don't have to do anything else to it. I think by Jove, we've got it. Oh, look at that. Even on high, it doesn't blend in. So if I center it, you know, it is good. It's going to come out a little bit when it's actually closed, right? So if we center it beautifully, do what we're supposed to be doing, it's not going to stick out. Well, barely. It's going to be minimum. It's going to shift a little, but I think we've got it. So there we go. Now one of those definitely, you know, open. Yeah. So I think 4 is going to be necessary to keep this. I think 4 will work. I think 4 will be really, really good. But I'll make all the signatures. I may even keep them. I'll make each one of the signatures and keep it clipped, paper clip or something. And then I will sit and do the template. And so I might try, to measure full tip, you know, do a reel, and like, you know, measure out the template or show Lee sewing in this. And I don't, you know, we're not going to get fancy. We're just going to do the standard figure 8 binding, because I don't want to get any more crafty than that. Having 4 sets of lines in 2 sections is going to be fun. It's going to be awesome enough. And if we don't like the look of it for whatever reason, you know, we cover it with lace or we cover it with something else. We'll just have to decide what color. That'll be the fun part. I think I have a brighter green that might pull from that, which might be really fun. So there we go, ladies. That's what we're going to do. 12 sheets folded in half becomes 48 book pages. We're going to do 4 signatures. That's 192 pages. I think it's going to fill it out really nicely. And it's going to give us a nice modern, but we also can't forget, I have to make sure, don't forget, to add a vellum to that. That's why nothing is sewn in yet, because that would be wrong. Okay, so let me clean this mess up for just a second, and then we'll go pull papers for the other one. 1 second. Okay, now, the other one. Yay. The fun, pretty pinky blue, green, or blue, green, and pink journal cover, this is our waterfall. I only call it waterfall because we have it in tiers, you know, tiers out. Because the usual waterfall flip-flop. There we go. Mini journal. So, because it's only, like we said, back to that 4x4 kind of inch going on here. It waterfalls out in the sense of each signature peekaboos out from the first one. But flip-flop, because you have 1, you have 2, flip it over, you have 3, right? You flip it over, and we don't know what will be, you know, flipping out in other ways too. So, we want to do that. Now, what did I do with my ruler? There it is. We were talking about whether or not we're going to have pages of each journal stick out. And I think we're going to have them stick out just a little bit. Just a smidge. And so that way, when we put lace and things on it, the lace and trim is going to be what's really sticking out outside of the page allotment, which is totally fine with me. So let's get a piece of paper and a pen again. So our first signature needs to measure. Hold on. That's the hard part. I can wait. It is, I think it's 4. Well, it's under 4. Or it's over 4. It's 4 1/4 if I go to the edge. But you know how that goes when you do it. So this cover is 4 1/4, give or take. So I almost want to go 4 3/8. So it's just sticking out a smidge, or can stick out a smidge. Then again, like we just did. Now, I don't plan on cutting these. I may fold some things in. I may make little, you know, fold stuff in to make washi edges, tucks, things like that, depending on the paper. But we know that as we sign it, you know, we do, say, 6 pieces of paper. That's 24 pieces per signature. So I think it's all right. I think 6 pieces of paper is 24 pages per signature. Is beautiful. It's just shy of, 75 pages, like 72 pages. For this cute little journal. I think if we go any farther out, it's going to stick out anyway, and so I'd rather just make lace to give us our ins and outs. So let's stick to 4 1/4. So we know it's 4 1/4 wide on this first one, and we need to be pretty tight. Now it is 4.5 tall. So 4.25 by 4.25 actually for this first one is a nice square piece. So your pieces are actually going to be 4.25 tall, but you're going to go 8.5 wide. So any normal piece of paper, I just get to fold in half. That isn't, you know, the standard size. I get to fold it in half, and we get pretty close to our 4.25 once folded. So, or the same as 8.5 inches, 8.5 inch piece of paper. So there's our height, there's our width. Okay, beautiful. First signature. Now, second one could very well be the same, but I believe because it is longer, it is a different piece of the box. It is, yeah, it's, I know I'm guessing at this here. It is right here. So that is actually not, see, that is 4 3/8. That one is just a smidge longer, and we have a little bit more space, but not much. So that one, I wonder if we're gonna make both the same and let this one stick in, which, because we do have this in the way, so I can only add so much lace and trim on the outside. This one's gonna have the fun couple on each. So I think they're gonna be exactly the same. So second signature is a repeat. Above numbers. Okay. Now the third one on the back. This one is totally up to us. Now it has this here. We may be doing the same thing. We may very well be putting something here, but I think to make it easy, even if I put a beautiful piece of paper here to tab in some kind of flap that just happens to open up to show the peekaboo, like to hide the peekaboo, we're going to get a new piece of ribbon here, and we're going to go, yeah, you're going to go across the front of it, you're going to come back around and tie it. So it's going to keep the flap down, and it's going to keep the back journal down. So I don't think we have to worry about that. But again, I really think this is pretty because this is all folded the same. Yeah, this one again, it's 4 3/8 and give or take sticking out. 4.25 is just inside it. Let's just put trim out here, have fun with it. So each signature is the same. It's all the same. Oh, well, doesn't that make my life easy? Especially with the 8.5 inch part, where 8.5 wide or long, fold in half gets us what we want. I just have to make sure I cut them 4.25 tall. Beautiful. All right, they're all the same. That part, I could almost make each signature the same, but knowing me, I'll try to have a few light variances in each signature. Or it's gonna be the pockets and I think the little bits of ephemera that's gonna make it different. So now these top few pages are cardstock. I think this is where extra pockets are gonna be made. This is where we're gonna make we're gonna make journal cards out of this and tags, because I have no ephemera for this. This has become a tissue box and scrapbook eco-dyed journal. There's no digitals in this. So we have plain ones to do cutouts. I wish I had more die cuts. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, no, I've embossed. I can emboss things, and I think I can make little tags and a few little like numbers and stuff. I don't really have a full set of like die cuts, and my punches are circles or itty bitty butterflies. I'll have to look. I do have a small container where I can make small, but they're more like confetti size things. They're like this size. They're little things. I can make confetti and butterflies and little things, but I don't have anything larger. My mother might, though. My mom might. I may have to go raid her die cut. I don't use my Big Shot that often, but I might need to, so we'll see. So I do have all this beautiful cardstock to fussy cut out the flowers, fussy cut out strips, so pockets, tags, things like that. And they are white on the back. Yeah, that cardstock is not. This is. So at least with this, we can ink and stencil the back of this when we decide to do anything, or I pull out some more of my parchment paper and back all of our ephemera with it if we want that creamy color. So that's that. Okay. Oops, those two. Now, but I do have one piece of paper that is no wait. Oh, it's underneath. I'm like, where's my one piece that is actual paper? I have a piece of paper. I think it's just this. I think it's just the stripes, though, which is all right. Stripes are great for one side of the paper, right? Because this is all. Oh, that's paper. Oh, double-sided. Okay, yeah. That's decor. Okay, so I had two of these. Wasn't sure what I was going to need them for. Let's see, two of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay. Well, no, we only need 3 signatures, huh? Yeah, we can. Fun thing about this one is we're going to do it to where it's 8.5. So it goes this way. So I could get probably all 2 or 3 signatures out of one. I cut this in thirds. Now each one of these pages do not need to be 4 1/4 tall. It just can't be any taller than 4 1/4. For sure. I think I was going to add this into the other journal. And I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know about that one. We'll use it elsewhere. Okay, so this one we can cut this way in thirds. It's 11 inches. Well, it should be 11 inches tall. But we'll cut this in thirds. And it gives me 3 pieces to add to a signature. This is definitely taller than that. So we can definitely do the same thing. Because this parchment is actually big. And that's 9. So that one, if we fold it, we're going to have to cut a little off. Or fold it in. And it is 12 inches. So that gives me exactly 4, 4, and 4. Perfect. This one is 11. So yeah, this one will be 3 1/2, I think is what it is. I don't know. 3 1/2, 7, and 10 1/2. Yeah. Okay, so those are 3 1/2. These are 4. Okay, and we'll do it this way. This one, I know it's 12 by 12 now. It's blue on one side, which is beautiful, and it is this on the other. I don't think it's gonna matter which way. I just have to decide if I want to do them. It's 12. So again, it sets of 4. If I want to do 3 of them, 4. These are 12, right? Better be 12. Yes, they're 12. Okay, so 4, 4, and 4. Get my 3, and it's 12 long. So these I could fold at 1/4 and have what's left on the other side, the 3 inches, fold over as a tuck on one page. So, or fold or flip out as an extra, because it is blue. This is writable. So these I think we're going to have either 2 sides folded in as tucks, or we're going to fold it and that third one is going to just fold out to give us extra writing space. So we'll have 2 to 3 different variations on that one. Okay, so now we're up to 3 pages. I want to get a blue in here. I know we had the blue on the back, which is a little different, but I feel I have some blue eco-dyed paper. So let's pull, I don't know if I want to go darker or lighter. I know it needs to be writable. I do like that. Gosh, that's gorgeous. Nope, let's do those 2. That was really dark. Now these are, oh, well, makes for fun. Makes something interesting on that. I wonder what happened there. Let's see, do we have one that doesn't have anything in the middle of it? Oh, wow. Oh, she must have done something. Yeah, I don't know if I don't like, I don't mind that, but that I don't care for. I have it. No, that's something else. Let's see if we have any more. That's cardstock, and it's darker. That is also cardstock, and it's darker. Well, we can do a little one, though, too. Yeah, they have circles in the middle. I don't know why they have circles in the middle. Not sure what happened on that one. One that doesn't have as much circle in it, and a little paler. I don't mind one, because it'll be cut interesting, and maybe we can put it to good use if we turn it the right way. I'm like, here, let's do these. 3 and 3 is 6, huh? I might not need. But yeah, we have to be crafty with that one. That one's a little darker. That one we're gonna have to really. It's the moon. I love it. I wish it'd be a great piece as a centerpiece, as the moon. And if we decorated the outside for like a winter kit, fussy cut at the edges, and could make that a large moon, and fussy cut pretty things on the corners. It's just the backside that we might want to cover up. Do like strips of paper, like eco-dyed, copy-dyed paper, maybe to border it. I like the idea of that winter version. That winter idea I like. I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay, now these are all the same thing as the blue and white. They are about 11 inches. So I could cut down to 3 1/2. These are 3 1/2. The polka dots are 3 1/2, but the stripes and the cream are 4. So that's okay to go vary that. So there's 3. I have 3 colors here. I have a really pale one, slightly darker, and darker. Yes, with the holes, but that's okay. I think when you cut it, we're going to have some with, you know, we can make a pocket out of it. We can probably enhance those spots and make it worthwhile. So those are going to cut the same way as this. Okay. And we'll try to do one. We will try to do a few of these real quick. 3 and 3. I have 3 blue, 1 decorative, and so it's very blue. Is that a bad thing? 3 and 3 is blue. I don't know. I mean, I have this, which would give us that peachy pink color that's roaming around the edges. I really feel like we need to put that in there. I feel like we need some pink because we have this, we have this, we have this, knowing that there's already a blue on the back. Yeah, so what if we, knowing we have, because knowing that these guys are all the same color, this front and back is exactly the same. This is the only one that's different, and this might be the front of each cover. Like, we're not gonna put it on the inside, we're gonna put it on the front of each one. And it's gonna, you know, allow us to open up and use the inside. So I'm trying to think. I don't think we'll do this dark one then. I think we'll skip the dark one because we already have a dark one. So we get two lights, a white with blue, a pink, and an orange, and an orangey color. Okay. I think that'll work now. What I was just looking at to see, do I have a slightly flatter? Oh, like it's dark. Never mind. I know you guys be able to write on these pages. Well, let's not get too dark, and I don't want it too bumpy. All right, so let's try for that. Oh, messes everywhere. That's okay. We want to cut carefully. So, all the pages that are same size, let's get our cutter out and get that going. So we're pretty much putting our three signatures together, and I am cutting the pages according to their size to get 3 pieces out of each one. Since we know that the 8.5 part is exactly what we need, which is beautiful. It's just cutting these down to make the most of it. And yes, I'm going to have a thin strip of all of them, and that's okay too. Now, let's do this as, I am taking my chances with this, but that's okay. We are going to have the joy of a flip-flop journal, and even the waterfall, is that it can be a little messier. It does not have to be perfect. The other one was very modern and very contemporary, very new, you know, today. And so memory keeping, you know, today, memory keeping, modern, whatever. I definitely, you know, need a very clean cut look. This one, because of the lovely the scrapbook paper and even the tissue box, you know, just the washed and the texture and all of that in all of this, it is not as modern. It doesn't have to be as contemporary. And by using, you know, eco-dye pages and slightly off papers and things like that, I feel we can get away with a little messier of our paper. Our paper's gonna be a little messier. They can be a little funner to work with. That's the top edge. There we go. Okay. I hate when that happens. Okay. So we do know it's shorter, and that's okay. The point is it longer than everything, longer than I wanted it to be when it's folded. And when you tuck it in, almost can't see it. So it is going to be nice. And it's going to start weeding its way out. We just know that. But we're okay with that because we're going to do other things with it. Now, oh my gosh, I forgot I had to pick up a child. I got sidetracked in my thing and didn't realize what time it was. Well, my alarm went off early. I need to go to the bank. And so I was like, oh, for my Friday. Okay. So let's just test this out. We'll go back and fix those in a minute. But let's see what we got going here. Let's see what our first signature would look like. And you know, I wish I could get all of it in there for you guys, but this is what we're doing. We're putting it together. I will just have to have it done. I think I have to do some shorts this week to give you guys a little tidbit, you know, peekaboos of signatures together, and, you know, folding and sewing and sewing it in and fun things like that, so you can see how it panned out. There's no fun if you don't get to do that. So this can go in many ways. We can go this, we can go blue, we can go here, and we're gonna go here. I'll probably put the yellow one in between these three because I feel like we definitely need to break that up. Plus we're gonna have different sizes. So to have different sizes in between is a good thing. Except our other two tall ones is one in the front, and one of them will be one back here or middle. Like I go 2, 2, and 2 probably. So tall, 2 short, tall, 2 short, and nothing major in the middle per se, unless I make this colored one the middle one. But I don't think so. I think I'm gonna want to, you know, when you first open it, I'm gonna want you to see this. So I can't help it. So let's see if we can get this whole signature together really quickly. Yeah, I'm running out of time anyway. All right, so let's get down to 4 inches. 4, 4, 4. That was supposed to be 4 1/4, huh? Nope, that's right. No, nothing could be any taller than a 4 1/4, and the only one we can do 4 1/4 is actually the 12 by 12. That's right. Okay, I'm like, wait, did I just goof up? No, I did not. We just know we couldn't go beyond 4 1/4. And as much as I would love it to go top to bottom, we can't do that. All right, so another 2 over there. We go here. Where's our signature? We're going to go. Now, this 1 1/2 doesn't work. I know that it is too long, but we're going to go here. Make sure. Let's do this. So yeah, so it sits inside, which is okay. We can decorate this one up a little bit and make it, right, a little bit more of something. But if I want this to sit inside, 4 1/4, give or take. Cut everything off on that one. Whoops, that's all right. It's, man, that thing is not cutting these days. I think I need to change the blades again. They weren't really great to begin with. I got it used, so it came with another set of blades. And I thought I had the better one in there. But all right, we can make this work. I hope you found this a little encouraging, inspiring, inventive, helpful. Hoping. So we'll center that to 2, 2, and 2. And then let's do this one, which this one will go 4 1/4. I want it, or do I really want to go that big? No, it's 12, so I can only go 4 again too. So there we go. I'm like, nope. And I want them, I don't know which way I want. Do I want them to go vertical? I think so. I think we'll go vertical with them. So 12 inches. So again, we're going to go 4. So yes, we know we can go 4 1/4 tall. None of our papers allow us to go 4 1/4 tall. And that's okay. That's what it is. The 3 sets of 4 is 12. All right. Now, but it is 12. And we're folding it exactly in half because, oh no. Yes, this one we'll do exactly in half and we will tuck. We'll make this first one tucks. So the excess that we do not need, right, because it's too long. Let's see if we can find a spot. 8. Okay. So we know we can go 4 1/4 out. 4 1/4 is here on that pink line. So I'm going to fold it in. All right. Same thing here. Let's find where 4 1/4, what our 4 1/4 lines up on. Happens to be the outside of this blue one. And we're gonna do this. So we can make little thumb notches. We can glue it down. And we have 2 tucks on this first corner, on this first cover, give or take. And we'll maybe go out that way. We have our first signature. See? So the first one, you open it up. We've got a tuck. We got some pages. Now, really, to make this really cute, we're probably going to vary everything. I have a feeling I want to be able to see all the colors. So I'm going to make that one up high. I'm going to put this one down low. I don't think we're going to do, waterfall it this way. We can waterfall it. Takes a little bit of creativity. It takes a little bit of hand holding and really making sure that we have things in place. But I'm going to want it to where everything is sort of varied. We see all those colors. We can see 3 of those colors, right? I might find one more piece of paper, something fun, light, maybe vellum. I don't know, something in the middle here. Maybe to bring it from top to bottom again to do our center. I really feel like it needs a little something. We'll have to see what we find. But as long as it all sits inside this, we have our first signature together, ladies and gentlemen. And it would fit in, it sits in here. It brings another pattern in. And it sticks out a little bit. And that's okay. So we can add a little lace to the front and back of the signature cover, and that can stick out a little bit as our decor. Everything else tucks in nice and neat. I'm loving that. I think that'll work. And I think, yeah, if we do vellum, I can either, I don't want to do a digital, but maybe, we'll see. Maybe we'll see, no, I could do vellum and we could take fussy cuts from those cardstock. Same thing I'm going to do, I think, with the other one. We'll use the vellum in the middle, and I will find, fussy cut flowers from the cardstock that we can glue to the front and back to make it just sort of a see-through middle signature, or do the vellum, and we have a piece of cardstock, decorative that goes down the middle. But I think vellum and cardstock, we're going to make sort of a decorative middle, because we didn't plan on writing on it, right? So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 10 is 20. no, 2, 4, yeah, 20 per signature and 3 signatures. Yeah, it's only about 60 because of the front, but we're going to put tucks and journal cards in it. One signature is going to pop out an extra page. So, so 20 with 2 journal cards. Another one could have 23. So yeah, I mean, we're 60 plus pages on this cute little guy, with some journal cards and tucks and things like that. So there we go. We did it right in an hour. Woohoo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on my tissue box junk journal creation weekend. So here we go. We are going to do these beautifully, perfectly, well, as perfectly as I can get it. 4 signatures of beautiful white, bright white 32-pound paper, right, that we're going to cover with a piece of blue vellum per signature. 4 of them sit here beautifully to have a great modern day, massive journal. And then we have our flip-flop waterfall journal feel. And each one of the signatures are going to range like this, and we're going to have 20 some pages, give or take panel-wise, to play with, right? So some will tuck, some will flip out to write on. And these cute little guys, again, fun little memorabilia moments, things to write down, dates, events, quotes, find the silver lining in every day and write it down. Kind of feel great ideas, great, these are wonderful gift ideas for new journal beginners who want something pretty to look at, who want plenty of space, whatever you need. Here we go. We've got it going. Signatures are now been accomplished, so all we have to do is finish them up. And next week we will, I will be having either cover options, or we'll be doing like pocket journal card things. I will be either ephemera or covers next week. And so we're getting to the creative parts of it all. So I'll make sure everything's ready to go for that. So look for some shorts to see if I, get brave enough to sew in those 4 signatures on a short. Maybe on Instagram. Instagram will give me up to 3 minutes. It won't be so bad. But 3 minutes condensed, these guys, or YouTube does about a minute. And so we're going to be really crafty, really fast with that. I don't know how pretty it'll be, but you'll get to see it in and flipped around. How's that? Flipped about, flip through so you can see what's going on. So love you all very much. I got to go. We'll talk real soon. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next week.